Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part two of Great Expectations. So, if you have not watched part one, you probably are not going to go and watch it first because a lot of you watch part two first.
Stop.
It's true.
Why are you encouraging people to do the wrong thing?
Because I like to have cake for breakfast.
Well, we don't all need to be unhealthy, like Sarah, folks. Not to
So,
mention, you missed a rousing debate on when you should work on Jabba.
right, which I mean, kind of ties into our first viewer question.
Okay, so let's hear it, Ms. Segway.
You're welcome. So the
Let's say
first one,
thanks.
Dark Dart WS Quebec Force asked
Ooh, a fellow
basically,
Canadian.
yeah, farming priority. Should it be Java or Grand Inquisitor? And we kind of touched on this on your channel. Um, but to this I say totally one depends on your roster. Um, this is so tricky. I feel like if you can get ready for Grand Inquisitor before December, I would do that.
Well, they are similar farms in the sense that Grand Inquisitor does take a miniature Galactic Legends worth of gear
Yeah, it
to get
is.
ready.
It is an obscene amount of gear that they'll like considering it's only five characters, it's disgusting.
Yeah, it's absurd for sure. It was surprising every once in a while they'd require some like mundane piece of gear, and I was like, whoa,
Hmm.
amazing! Because my alt is working on them, and every once in a while I was like, oh, this is like a green piece. This is crazy for Inquisitors.
Right,
Almost all of them were like, yeah, we require significant pieces on all six.
right.
And yeah, the problem with the farming inquisitors is, yeah, like, so CG has promised, is sworn up and down, like, yes, you're gonna need inquisitors, like, you're gonna want them, and they
Hmm.
are actually, despite the rumors, they are actually a very good team. The
Hmm.
problem is they're not good enough right now, right this instant, to be as good as all their gear requirements would imply. Like, Starkiller is that good.
Right.
Starkiller requires a similar amount of gear investment, a little bit less actually, but if you call them similar, Starkiller is yeah, you get some awesome characters and that go to a bunch of different squads, and then you get a cool mix and match squad as well, and he's really powerful in a lot of different builds.
Hmm.
And Grand Inquisitor is just like, what, you're comparing me to Starkiller? Like, you can see him like
Right.
sweat. He's like, Star Killer, are you sure? Like, can you compare me to like Bad Batch?
Well, I will say, so I obviously don't have Grand Inquisitor yet, but I am ready for him because they're Relic 5. Um, but I've been using them in Grand Arena, believe it
Yeah,
or not. And I'm like pleasantly so like they're not modded like I know you want a specific speed order for them. Like they have whatever on them and um they are quite a lot of fun.
yeah, no, they are. They're good. No, they're good. Like, so that's the thing. Like, they are a fun team. They're good
Mhm.
and everything in their own right. Not just like, oh yeah, only in territory wars if you have all the Omicrons and all that stuff. It's like, no, they are actually good in GAC and all these. Like, they're good in Conquest. They're good. Um, I have no idea how they do in Darkside territory battles. I wouldn't do that, but they also have their own assault battle that you can be able to
Mhm.
get to at least tier two, get through tier two on relatively easily, even if you don't have Grand Inquisitors. What I've heard,
Yeah.
and
I 3-starred all of it without Grand Inquisitor.
oh, awesome, yeah, yeah, maybe that was who I heard it from then. Yeah, so yeah, like you can do all this stuff with them, but if you're looking for for like a Galactic Legend level output, like it's not there.
Right.
But the potential is there for like once you can help your guild unlock Riva with them, or if you have to unlock Riva with something else. But once you add Riva to the squad, it's going to be really good.
Hmm.
Jabba, on the other hand, has like a bunch of worthless requirements, but once you get through all that, it is just smooth sailing. He's amazing. He's one of the most enjoyable GLs, and he beats all the other GLs besides Lord Vader.
Yeah. And I mean, this is one of those things that to me really just depends on how close you are, because if you're not ready for Grand Inquisitor for whenever he's coming in December, sometime in December, we don't know when. I personally don't think we're going to see Grand. First of all, he's not going to go to the Journey Guide until the end of June 2023. So we have over 6 months to go. And him coming in December is his second event run, which is like just absurdly, like it's not following their cadence that they normally follow. So if they're not following their usual cadence, I don't think you're going to see Grand Inquisitor before March or April next year again. And if that is the case and you can't get Grand Inquisitor in December because it's going to be too much of a gear crunch, like you're just not going to make it, then I think it makes more sense to go for Jabba first.
Yeah, or a farming crunch for that matter. I mean,
right, it is a farming
like,
crunch too.
Like I've been farming. I mean, you've been helping me, of course, because you run that account. But like Professor X has been farming them slow farm from the very start, and so now I was just like, yeah, okay, farming isn't going to be the issue. It's going to be gear.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like if you're going to miss it anyway, you will have plenty of time. Like I would then just pivot it, and instead of going Grand Inquisitor Jabba, I would go Jabba Grand Inquisitor.
Sure, and honestly, like Jabba, so you should be working on Jabba, but you should also be farming some stuff for Grand Inquisitor at least, like just kind of preparing in the background. Like if everyone's 3 stars, like start farming your freaking Inquisitors. Don't wait until it's time to be like, all right, I have 2 months and I have to farm all of them from 3 to 7.
Right. Yeah.
And put all their gear. It's like, well, I kind of hope you fail because that's annoying.
And that's the thing that I've kind of been telling people, because a lot of people don't start the farm right away. Like they wait until they're working on the project, and I'm like, just do the slow farm. Like you don't have to refresh the node. Just do the 5 freebies a day.
Right. That's been my rule on Professor X from the day one. Like, get all the characters. Cantina's different. Cantina can wait until you're starting to work on that character, because maybe it becomes enhanced or whatever, the sped up, attenuated, if you
accelerated.
I know. I have an English degree. It sadly isn't a good time to admit that.
Oh man. I mean, that is a fair point. This is not going to be that. I mean, maybe Grand Inquisitor, yeah, because the Inquisitors might be accelerated by the time you get around to it. But
right, oh, they might.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, I think it's nuanced. I do think honestly that Jabba is going to be more impactful for a roster, and I am strongly considering right now on my alt going straight for Jabba, even though Kylo. So I'm Inquisitors first, and then Kylo is like low hanging fruit, and I might just bypass it entirely and go for Jabba instead, just because. The benefits from Jabba are immense. He's not the only one who's immense. The benefits are also.
You need to stop telling me that you're considering this, because it just makes me want to pivot, which is terrible.
Good. I like challenging people's previously held conceptions, even if they don't end up doing it. It's people need to question what they're doing. Dislike.
Okay. So I think we both agree, though, totally depends on, like, Jabba is probably the better option out of those two.
Well, right now, like, once territory battles come out, maybe that changes. Who knows?
Right. And that's the thing. And then also, of course, like, how close are you on Grand Inquisitor?
All right, we spent 10 minutes on one question.
Okay. I think this one is going to be a lot simpler to answer. And there was a lot of chatter in the Discord server about this, but Makia was saying the Sector 1 Datacron node has a really bad drop rate, which, yes, is true. Do you think CG will reevaluate this
In Sector 1.
in Sector 1? So, like, the
Yeah.
actual drop rate of the crons themselves.
I don't. So yeah, they're going to be reevaluating. Like you can tell, like they changed the economy again, and like they made the set 3 stuff worth more data cache. Like they gave us more cash for it. Clearly they saw our desperate need for it. Like, and I'm not being facetious here. Like we really needed more data cache. That was like the number one concern that you and I talked about last set. Of like, we don't have enough. This is crazy.
Right.
And maybe we feel the crunch this next conquest, but the fact is they did change it, and that was the one thing that they said our eyes are going to be specifically on this, on this factor. Like the rest of them, yes, but we're going to be looking at the data cache, and then they changed it. I think that I think they're definitely going to be reevaluating it. Do I think they need to? That's a tough question because I don't. I know that people have these anecdotes about like I just tried 20 times and I didn't get it. I farmed.
Yeah.
I farmed all 2 weeks on Sector 1 and I didn't get it. And I'm like that hasn't. None of the people I've talked to who farm it consistently have actually had that. Like you get bad RNG and you can go for a long time without getting one, but. I've never noticed on anyone's account who's consistently farming it that it is just like I had my main account. I had to delete probably. I bet I've deleted like 15 to 20 of them.
Right. So I'm just looking right now. I have 27. Is that what 9 times 3 is? There's not 9 here.
Yes.
There's 8. What's 8 times 3? 24. So I have
Yeah.
24 data
We're looking at them right now. Yep.
and I bought 2 of them. Have we only had the 2 store refreshes so far?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could have bought 2 by now.
So I bought 2 of them. So the rest came
with. I mean, you could buy more than that. Like you could buy
Right.
with crystals, with shard shop currency, and maybe ally points. I don't remember the ally points, but
right. So I bought with shard shop currency. So I've bought 2 of them. And I was one of those people who was like, it's not dropping. Like I'm not getting any datacrons. This is insane. And then they just magically started dropping. I think, yes, the drop rate is lower. I don't know. I didn't track my own personal like attempts on Sector 1, but I've seen a lot of people who have, and it works out to be like a 15 to 20% drop rate essentially.
did you go into the 100s on your refreshes?
No,
Okay.
I only did the 50s.
Yeah, because that's very relevant. Like my main account did go into the 100s for the first week, and then the second week I only went to through the 50s. But my main account, I burned through them a lot, but I only do refreshes. That's the only reason I had. But I got so many of them. Yeah. So with
Sorry, go ahead.
I just like with love to the person asking this, I my perception is that this isn't actually an issue. Like it feels bad until you actually like really knuckle down and do it, and then it's not an issue at all.
Well, and this also comes down to how many times are you refreshing in Conquest? And are you
Right.
refreshing and doing your feats on the normal nodes, or are you doing your feats on the Datacron node? So, like, for example, we had to get 300 Purge in Sector 1 for this Conquest. And I was like, oh, I can cheese this and do it in 2 fights. And then I was like, why would I cheese it? I have to farm Sector 1 anyway for the cron. Like, I didn't have them dropping. I was like, I might as well just use an Inquisitor team and do it slowly.
Yeah, I didn't even plan to do the 300 purge.
Right.
It just happened magically once. I was like, oh, well, I already have red crate, but thank you.
Right. So but it was like one of those things that I was planning to do it, and I either could have cheesed it, but then I would have had to, like, it just made sense to do it on that node anyway and work on my other feats in the other sectors for like the mats or whatever. So yeah, I guess it just depends on what you're actually doing as well. Like how many refreshes, where are you doing them, like all these kind of things that add up. And I get it that not everyone wants to do the refreshes in Conquest because you're doing other farms as well. I personally suggest reallocating your crystal use if that is an issue for you.
Yeah, I mean, people don't like datacrons, and that's fair. I do think
Hmm.
that the perception is that it's way more work and way more money than it actually is to like actually get a decent number. Like you have a pretty decent supply there, Sarah. Like for just doing 50s, like
Well,
it's not perfect, but it's like what you need
well,
basically.
and this is the thing is we still have another conquest of farming them.
Right. This is just for one
This
conquest,
is one
and you got red crate on top of it.
right. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to dismantle some of these because I'm gonna hit the
Yeah.
cap.
Oh yeah, like you begin to curse the fact that I mean I the UI is just so ridiculously awful.
It's so
Honestly,
bad.
but we don't need to go into that totally. But one of the things that frustrates the hell out of me though is you don't have a delete button in the inbox.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say I'm above and beyond. I have 30 Datacrons that I love, and I've worked on them, and then I get more in my inbox. I either have to wait for them to rot in my inbox
Mm-hmm.
and like click around them, or I have to go and delete something that I've worked on and loved in order to get them from my inbox into my game so that I can delete them.
Yeah, you should be able to just delete
It is so
because
obnoxious. There's a ton of other reasons that it's obnoxious, but yeah.
Mhm.
Um. Anyways, we spent another 7 minutes on another question, so
Okay. That's it. That's the last viewer question.
all
Um
right.
so do you want to look at a character?
Yes, please.
All right. So we'll look at Tarkin today.
All right. What do you like about Tarkin? What's cool about Tarkin? What's hip?
What's hit?
What's hip? What's cool?
I used to use him. I haven't done this in a very long time, but I used to use his leadership a lot just for the speed bonus.
Yeah. It's a trap sometimes, but yeah, it
Hmm.
is actually sometimes it'll get you to a place that you need to be. I've used it before to counter Ray teams back when Darth Vader was not an automatic just kill everything bot with his Datacron.
Right.
Back when you had to actually work at the off meta, but yeah, like Tarkin can get you there
Hmm. Um, yeah, he's got an
sometimes.
AoE that's pretty powerful, supposedly,
Kind of.
kind of.
Yeah, it depends on if you know how to use it, but yeah.
Um,
It's not the size, but how you work it.
so yeah, well, okay. So what do you like about him? Because I think you use him more than I use him.
I actually just so I use this ship a lot now
Yeah.
for Empire. Like honestly, like so the thing that's been most I don't know. Like I know that now I've just kind of let the cat out of the bag, but like pretend like you didn't hear me say I've been using a ship a lot, and I like what would you have said? Like which fleet commander, which Empire fleet commander would you say was the best? Not Piet because he's bounty hunter in reality at heart.
Right.
But between Chimera and Executrix, which one would you say is your has been your perception that is the strongest, the best choice?
My perception has been Chimera.
Right, and I think that that's very, very, very common. I mean, I still hold that on some levels because
Hmm.
Chimera deletes a ship every once in a while with its ultimate. Chimera, calls an assist. It heals your own ships. It does a lot of cool stuff. The ship itself, though, is very, very strong. It gives you turn meter. It lets you hit harder. It does. It's faster. It does all this cool stuff, and it's actually one of. I use it all the time now because it's the off meta for profundity. It kills profundity pretty consistently.
Right.
But so beyond that, though, yes, you need Relic 7, by the way, guys, if you want to do that. Relic 7 and all Zetas and all 6E mods, if you want that
Right.
consistent counter. So Sarah's not ready for it quite yet. You could still maybe like do like a janky version of it, but it's and that's not shade. That's just evaluation, analysis, etc.
Right. And that also like tells you that I don't use his ship very often. Like because my perception has been Chimera.
Right. Well, yeah, and I don't think you're wrong for that. I think that's just the common thing. And
Hmm.
honestly, like I was saying on my podcast the other day, like I actually think that that's the reason they're coming out with this Grand Inquisitor ship that specifically goes with Executrix because it gets such a low usage rate. They're trying to redeem a useless piece of garbage ship,
Hmm.
as their numbers indicate, because only the top meta is using this as a Executrix is like a counter. Everyone else is using Chimera. They're like, oh well, Chimera is already the Empire fleet. Let's redeem the Executrix and give it its own fleet.
Right. Yeah, that could
Um,
be it.
right. So, anyways, about him himself. So he has a few things. So lately, people have been using him with the Datacrons to do the dab, like people call it. Like he just like does his debuff. Can you click on the debuff real quick? That's the second special.
This one.
Yeah, so this is a non-damage special, and it applies all these different debuffs to everyone,
Hmm.
which is really good for the Datacron, of course. And so what happens with him is he just does his little dab step the whole time under Emperor Palpatine lead, and so he's applying the debuffs, applying the debuffs, applying the debuffs, applying the debuffs, and when Piet is with them, every time he does that, because he just does an endless loop with that,
Hmm.
he eventually becomes like you can do your AoE and kill the whole team because you're at like 500 stacks, and the stacks yeah, just delete anyone because it's 500 times whatever, it's like 6,000 times your normal offense or something crazy like that, 3,000 times it.
Right. You just delete everybody.
Right. So with the Datacron that works, and that's why he's popular right now,
Hmm.
because he has the endless loop that can delete like Lord Vader and stuff.
Right. So,
Um,
and that's just based off his second special.
yeah. So look at his AOE though.
Okay.
Okay, so it does the damage. So it removes their turn meter.
Hmm.
Um, It gains offense equal to double Tarkin's potency percentage. So it's like, okay, great. You put a lot of potency on him. That's fine. But then look at his unique as well, please. I think it's his unique where he gets this.
His
Yeah, so he
defense.
gains. Oh well, defense equal to his potency percentage.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah.
find where does it ramp? He ramps it somewhere. His potency somewhere.
He gets 20% potency per debuffed enemy. But
Yeah,
I
I think
guess
he.
that doesn't count per debuff. It's just per enemy.
Right, so it's not that much. Can you go to like
Uh,
his?
is it his? It wouldn't be his leadership.
I think it's his basic, maybe. This is fun.
It is. Yeah, 50% stacking.
Yeah, until the next time ultimate firepower is used. And so, this isn't something people are using for the current Datacron stuff, but what we're doing with it is, like the reason it's good, or it can be, like you'll get every once in a while a surprising video of someone deleting something that you don't feel like they should. You're like, Tarkin did that?
Hmm.
It's because they found some way to loop him and get him to use his basics so many times, and then they just never use his AoE
Right.
until it's ramped so much that like his potency stacked and his damage is based on his potency and everything just destroys him, and he eventually gets to the point where you can't kill him either because he's got so much defense because of his stacking potency.
Right. So it's just a whole bunch of ridiculousness.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like his leadership speed and stuff, like
Mhm.
that's a very surface level look at him. Like he can do some interesting stuff. It's just he's I don't know, he needed like a Datacron to make him interesting, but then we only use like one ability of his.
Right. You're just manipulating that over and over and over again until you can just erase everybody.
Right.
But I mean, this is the thing that, like, whether you love or hate Datacrons, they're not going away. And if you are going to try to use them and try to, you know, make the best use out of your roster, so to speak, knowing these things is helpful, right? Like that's you can take that now and you can manipulate that to your favor.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool to see people do this. And honestly, like, here's the thing that I like about Datacron. Well, I like a few different things, but one of the things I do like is like Tarkin wasn't really used that much beyond maybe being a fleet commander, but he's just like kind of ignorable.
Hmm.
In a lot of ways, he's a Relic 7 requirement for Lord Vader and all of that. But otherwise, all right, let's just ignore that dude. Except Datacrons have dragged him into usability. It's like I had a Relic 7 character that now I can actually use sometimes. It's nice to have that added value, I
Hmm.
guess. For a limited time, sure, but it is nice to be able to use more of my roster sometimes.
Right. Like you normally wouldn't get to do that.
Right. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll kill everything for 4 months and then I'll just take my merry self home and you won't see me for a while."
Go back to the bench.
Right.
Uh,
I'm going back to my ship.
uh, poor target. Um, yeah, man. Okay. Um,
The other just really oddball thing about him is his leadership. If you
mhm.
don't put his Zeta on, it's only plus 28 speed.
Yeah, it's super oddball.
And then he does a few things. His lead isn't real. It used to be like, really? People are putting his Zeta on for that? Now it's like, well, we have enough Zetas, we could probably manage it. But you do
Yeah.
need it if you want to just keep him Relic 7 and counter Profundity. So,
Hmm. And I mean, like you said, the other Inquisitor ship, the new one coming out, is gonna go with him. So if you are running that fleet, you're gonna want him relicked anyway,
yeah.
and Zeta and et cetera, et cetera.
Etc. Etc.
Correct. Um, any other thoughts on him? Oh, he's a support. I didn't know he was a support.
Oh.
I get so excited whenever I see support characters 'cause I'm like, you can have fun in Conquest.
Okay, Conquest. I was like, what? Gideon gives him some protection up? Okay.
Oh, no. Zealous ambition, man. You just delete people.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
I'll expect you
fantastic.
to expect some screenshots from Professor X next Conquest.
Um, using Tarkin? No. Professor X used Dash a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't think
Uh,
my main used Dash at all, actually, this whole Conquest.
oh man, it was great. We can talk about that later.
We'll have a long, boring talk about that later after this show.
Hey, I know you secretly like Conquest. Um,
Stop.
do you want to roast a roster?
Sure.
How much time do we have?
2
-5.
minutes.
-5 minutes.
No, 2. Well,
All right.
less than 2, but yeah.
All right. Um, I didn't look at this too in depth, but I figured it would be an interesting one because he, or I shouldn't say he, but I'm assuming he, um, took a break from July 2017 to January 2020. So a 2.5 year break in the game.
Okay, so older roster, kind of with a few newer elements, but okay. So
Right.
Metronic, the Young Apprentices, and he's
Mm-hmm.
in Rhodium 1.
Mm-hmm.
How big is his roster?
6.5 million.
Okay, I would expect maybe into Kyber by the now, but okay.
Okay.
That's
Well,
actually not shade. It's just my kind of random expectation.
I mean, July 2017 to January 2020, that's a lot of stuff missing, potentially, that you would be behind on.
No, I'm just saying GP wise only.
Yay, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it is a lot of stuff missing though. So let's check it out. What's their fleet like?
all right,
They have Executor kind of.
right. So, okay, what are we missing? Radis and Radis? The two Radises?
There are 10 fleets or 11 fleets.
I thought there were 10.
Okay, so yeah, the Radis is for sure.
right?
Yeah, I don't see any others missing off the top of my head. So yeah, we're good. Ish.
Oops, I accidentally clicked on something. I mean,
Something.
they're all relic pilots, so
Sure, I don't see anything necessarily wrong, like the poor Star Fortress, but he's
I
probably
know.
busy farming other things right now, hopefully. He's like, nope, just gear. I'm like, alright, I give up on you. You're dead to me.
Okay, let's see. Even Hawk's not farmed.
Oh man, you need Ebon Hawk, man.
It's not a
Tyner's.
requirement for. Is it Radis?
Oh, is it? I think so, actually, yeah. Okay. You have to
Uh,
use it for the unlock, anyways.
yeah.
Yeah, TIE Interceptor. You have him 7-star. You put forth the effort to get it, but now you have a trash ship because you have a trash pilot. Okay.
Just needs gear 11.
My goodwill is slowly starting to fade.
Oh boy. I mean, pilotless ships are farmed, it looks like.
For once in anyone's life, they're farmed. Hallelujah. Okay. Thank God.
uh, okay. Oh, 5-star shuttle.
Eh, okay. But double relic. Like, I don't care if your ship if your two pilots aren't double relicked, then whatever. Okay, I'll learn to live with that. That's fine. Don't feel like you have to start it up. But like you have a very very functional ship there, and it
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't even just farm the ship. You don't even have to put gear on now. You've done the hard part. Like do the easy part. Do yourself a freaking favor. Same with you. You have a Relic 7 Marauder. Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
you think maybe his ship might be useful. Maybe. Probably
Maybe.
not, except it is. Super useful if you want to use the Empire fleet.
Yeah, but
Alright,
I mean, other than that, it's not awful. It looks like it's mainly resistance stuff that is,
let's
I
keep
guess,
scrolling down.
anti-reaper.
Yeah, you have a functional maul, but you don't have a full scimitar.
Like,
He's a couple of stars short of a full scimitar, if you know what I mean.
uh,
Alright, I've seen enough of
yeah.
this. This is.
Okay. Okay.
It's not that egregious. It's still a little outrageous, but okay. Can we just look at his crons just real quick? Not as a judgment thing. I'm always
Mhm.
curious. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Not stating anything. Someone was like, "You looked at someone's crons on the roast the other day and you judged them." I was like, "No, I didn't." Like I specifically say I'm not going to judge. I don't.
Hmm.
I'm just curious about that because I'd like to see what people's level of investment is
That's fair.
on that.
That's fair. Um, okay, so two GLs, Kenobi and Kylo. He has cat. Okay.
Um.
I was curious if he had cat or not, but he does.
All right. Yeah, that's good. He must be going for Sith Eternal because
I'm assuming he's going for Sith Eternal.
well, in a Relic 7 Marauder, can you actually just search Galactic Legends? Maybe he already has Sith Eternal unlocked and he's just not geared or something. Oh, Galactic Legend is on the very top, actually. Like, right underneath all.
Oh, is it? Of course it
Yep.
is. That's why I would. Okay, so not unlocked yet. He could be doing the tickets.
He could.
Let's
And,
see.
like, Imperial Troopers are probably a good tell for that.
Uh, that looks about right.
Yeah, because I think it's only
It's all.
Piet
Yep.
and Veers and Stark.
Yep. And those are the right relic levels, and then the rest is Sith, right?
For the most part, I think, yeah.
That looks pretty accurate. So he's probably doing the tickets right now for C.
Or very, very close, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so going for Galactic Legends is probably wise at this GP level.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like Professor X and only have two at almost 8 million.
Yeah, making life difficult. Talon's not
for
farmed.
for other people.
Uh, Fair. Um, do you have a faction that you want to look at in particular?
Well, so just looking at Sith real quick. This looks. I mean, I don't know when people have time to gear up Treya and all that. Like, you need so many
Hmm.
other things that she's not a requirement, but it just seems a little sad. Like, my alt doesn't have a relic or sorry, a gear 10 Scion and then gear 12 on Nihilus and
Hmm.
relic 1 on Treya, but yeah, it's just tough to find time. Like the no farming on Talon does make me sad though.
Treya is one of those ones that I've always wanted to put more gear on her, and I'm like, I just can't.
You ever gear 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to like, it's like you need to be working on Jabba. What are you doing putting relics on Treya? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there's always a new emergency. So yeah, but
Right.
they'll get my pass. Like they farmed their ships, the non-pilot ships. Like they get a little leeway from me.
Hmm.
Am I not benevolent?
Super, super benevolent.
Let's look at
Um,
Jedi. Why is there no Jedi Master Luke here?
okay. Good question. Because of Hermit Yoda being sad and old Ben.
Yeah. How
Um,
close are they on Cam?
4 stars. I would like just throw some more gear on Cam. You gave him
Sure,
a Zeta, just make him do something. You've
do
got
something.
you got the Qui-Gon Omicron. You got Jedi Anakin at Relics. Just throw Cam there.
Yeah, Cam would fit there pretty nicely actually.
Hmm.
Um, all right, yeah, Hoda. That's the trickiest thing. It's like unless you need it as a requirement, Hoda can be really low gear and still be really effective.
Right. And you
I don't.
do eventually need them for
Yeah,
Jedi
like
Master Luke.
put some Zetas on Mace because they're warranted.
Hmm. And you've got him relicked.
Yeah.
Um, what else does Jedi Master Luke need? CLS?
Um, is it CLS?
Or no, it's Jedi Knight Luke. Oh gosh, there's no Jedi Knight Luke. I totally missed
Right.
that.
Right. Well, that's the big thing. I was thinking. I don't know how we search for Wampa, but like maybe they don't have. It doesn't matter. Like they don't have Jedi Knight Luke requirements. Okay. Like that's he's like a GL in his own right, like a miniature GL in his own right. So,
Hmm.
okay, let's look at Rebels then.
Oh. Oh.
Hmm.
Interesting. Oh. Oh. Why did you give Radis his Omicron?
Maybe give him all his stars first. I don't know.
Oh.
Mon Mothma's sad. Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done for Jedi Master Luke. Um, but Jin has her Zeta. Yay. Um,
Right. And Gear 12.
yay.
Oh. 3PO is sad, or 2PO, I should say, not 3PO. I mean,
3PO's, yeah, this 3PO's not that bad.
but 2PO is what? Gear 11?
Yep. No Zeta.
Oh, Zeta.
But Fulcrum,
Oh.
hey, Fulcrum has a Zeta. So, hey, yay, hey, hooray for throwing away Zetas when you need them on other characters. All right. What else? You choose the next faction. Well, bounty hunters. Choose
Bounty
bounty
Hunters?
hunters. Yeah.
It's a good.
You.
It's a good.
It's your
It's a good.
choice.
It's my choice.
Oh, there's actually a little development here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is like the first roster I don't just want to vomit all over and improve by the vomit. Like the value is improved by however much value my vomit has. Like,
It's
which isn't
not.
much.
It's not. I mean, there's still some characters that need to be farmed, but nothing crazy.
Seems like they've got their heads screwed on straight. Could we look at Sith one more time? I want to see if they have Melek, actually.
Hmm. You want to look at Sith Empire?
Yeah.
No. No Malik,
Yeah.
but he's got
All right.
Malgus.
I know. Well, when we were looking at Sith, I was like, there seems like something wrong. Okay, so no Malek. But you have it enough to farm Jedi Revan and Darth Revan, like maybe get Malak too, because
Right.
he's awesome. Yeah, that's
And you've got Malgus.
yeah.
Let me just.
Jedi training Ray.
She's so sad looking. Stick Ray has more gear than Jedi Training Ray.
Well, don't save yourself the sadness. Don't look at BB-8.
I will say, if you're going, I mean, it looks like he's going for Sith Eternal. He's got all of the Rex.
Yeah.
Give Mara more gear. You're gonna use her with Palpatine all the time.
All the damn time. Yep.
Like, and give her an Omicron.
And start farming her, for crying out loud.
She's like, I was using her at 3-star gear 11, and it was fantastic. So
Yeah.
just do it.
Fewer Zetas on Fulcrum Ahsoka, more Zetas on Mara Jade and other good characters.
Okay.
Should we call that?
I guess I'm not totally. I mean, considering he took 2.5 years off.
Oh, let's look at his 501st real quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
They exist. Good job.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not all the Zetas, or at least missing one on Echo, but all right.
Okay, but still,
Yeah.
they're cam ready.
What does the Zeta on Echo even do?
I don't remember.
Something awesome, I'm sure. All right.
I don't remember.
All right. We're supposed to be roasting, and I'm like, yeah, this is okay.
I feel like we gave more tips than roasting, but sometimes that's okay.
Yeah, I bet your personal hygiene is terrible. just roasting. I don't know.
Oh, he does have
What about
Wappa.
something? Oh, so put more relics on him, dude.
with the Omicron.
Yeah, you have the Omicron and 2 Zetas. Like, put more relics on.
This really isn't that bad.
I know. I'm like, this is actually like the first reasonable roster I've found so far. This is like This is like a roster roast of people who have gone before him.
Oh, he's got the Chirpa Omicron.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling mindlessly now. We
All
can
right.
call it. We can
Let's
call it.
All right. Keep up the good work. Don't less vomit for Zareth means happier community for everyone.
And me too.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with my vomit, don't worry.
No.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next week.
It's over.
Yeah, yeah.